Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is July 19th, 2022, and I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Great to be back with you today on another great episode of the All Rookie Podcast. The Summer League has just recently completed, so I'm going to go over how our rookies fared in the Summer League. We had a lot of great performances, and a rookie was even the MVP of the whole Summer League. So let's get straight to it like there's nothing to it. Last episode, I wrapped up the Summer League games up until the 10th. Today, I'm going to recap briefly from July 11th to the end of Summer League. And we're going to talk about the championship, MVPs, first team and second team, all rookie, all Summer League. And so let's get straight to it. First, I'll just go over the championship. The Portland Trailblazers are playing against the Knicks in the championship. The Trailblazers won that one. Trendon Watford was the MVP. He was an undrafted rookie from last year. And that just goes to show this class that just because you weren't drafted doesn't mean your career is over. You may still have a long path to go, but Trendon Watford played big minutes last year. It was on a bad team, but he still developed his game, and then this year he comes back, he's MVP of the championship game. Jabari Walker is the big rookie on the Portland Trailblazers because Shaedon Sharpe was injured, and he had 14 points, 11 boards, and 3 steals in that championship game. And he had some other good performances throughout the Summer League, so he was almost undrafted. He was a really, really late pick, around 55, I think. He might have been the last pick at 58. So Jabari Walker is going to follow that same path as Trendon Watford. He's going to have an uphill battle, but he's very talented and will have an opportunity to get some minutes on this Trailblazers team. So congrats to Portland as we, recap that. But other news from the Summer League. We had 2 injuries that were not fun. Dalen Terry, he was playing very well for the Bulls, 18th pick in the draft. He was getting better with each game up until his final game where he dominated. And then the very next game, barely played much, and he injured his hamstring. He had a hamstring strain, and that shut down his Summer League. But he should be okay as long as he doesn't overdo anything and make it worse in the offseason. He has a few months to get right. So Dalen Terry, not a guy that I was high on at all, but he was starting to perform very well for the Bulls. And you can see why they took that risk on him at 18. Get well soon. But the really, really bad and unfortunate news was EJ Liddell. Rookie for the Pelicans. A lot of people had him mocked going in the first round. I did not. He did not go in the first round. But the talent is there. The size is not really there. But he tore his ACL in the Summer League. That hurts. This is a guy that needed the Summer League, needed the season in general to play with the G League and continue to develop his game because he's used to playing center at around 6'7". In the NBA, that would be tricky. So he needed to develop other skills. He needed this year of development very badly. So unfortunately, EJ Liddell has torn his ACL, so he will be more than likely out for the whole season. So get well soon, EJ Liddell. I'm rooting for you. And, I also have to mention Shaedon Sharpe. I said it on the last episode, but he injured his arm, shoulder area. So that caused him to miss his whole Summer League. And if you want to go by that, I'll just mention the guys that did not play at all that were first round picks in the Summer League. It was a little bit disappointing, but for some were injury related. But Jeremy Sohan did not play a single game in the Summer League. He was a 9th pick to the Spurs. AJ Griffin, 16th pick to the Hawks, did not play 1 minute. Pat Baldwin, 28th pick to the Warriors. He's a guy everyone really, really wanted to see. Did not play 1 minute. Dyson Daniels, the 8th pick to the Pelicans. I believe he played 3 minutes in one game, and then they shut him down. I didn't hear if he was banged up or what, but that was weird. But we did not get to see Dyson Daniels. Shaedon Sharpe, as I mentioned, he played around 3 minutes as well in that first game, injured his shoulder. And Walker Kessler did not play 1 minute in Summer League action. Some were injuries, Some were just precautionary, but those were the guys that we wanted to see and did not get to see. So they will do their developing during the season, I suppose. And hopefully they will all be 100% going into the season. Now, let's go over what the NBA announced were the top 5 players in the Summer League. So that would be the Summer League all first team. We had 2 rookies on there too. So this was the good news for us. But I'm gonna start with the non-rookies first. Quentin Grimes for the Knicks killed it. He was a 25th pick in the draft last year to the Knicks. Didn't play as much as he wanted, I'm sure. He played a little bit though, but he clearly has worked on his game in the offseason. People are thinking that he could compete to start this year for the Knicks. So they may have something there. And you can see why that maybe they traded their first round pick this year. They believe in Quentin Grimes. We will see. Sandro Mamukelashvili, a guy picked in the 50s last year. He's very talented, needed a year to develop, came through guns a-blazing in this summer league. And we'll see if he'll get minutes this year on the Bucks. Brook Lopez is back, so that could affect that. Cam Thomas, he was a co-MVP last year in the summer league. This is his area of expertise. He's an offensive machine. He dominated again as well for the Nets. But my 2 rookies, Tari Eason for the Rockets, dominated. He played incredible this summer league. He averaged 17 points and 10 boards. And that was a surprise for most people because he was a 17th pick in the draft. So a lot of people thought things could be rough for him, but he came through dominated in the summer league. And last but not least, you could say most important, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray averaged 23 points and 7 boards, and he was on that first team. But not only that, he was the summer league MVP. And this is not just from rookies. This is everybody. Quentin Grimes, all these guys, Cam Thomas, first, second, third year, some 4th year guys were in there. Keegan Murray, 5th pick in this draft, the 4th pick in this draft to the Sacramento Kings. A lot of people thought was a bad pick, was a reach. They could have traded back and got him. Keegan Murray's MVP of the summer league. Now, for second team all summer league, we have 1 rookie on there. That's great. I mentioned him last. Santi Aldama from the Grizzlies, rookie last year. Marko Simonovic, center for the Bulls, had some great games. Trendon Watford, as we mentioned earlier, and Lindell Wigginton from the Bucks. But the rookie that made second team was Benedict Mathurin for the Pacers, averaged 19 points and 4 boards in the 3 games that he played in the summer league. So all in all, we had 3 rookies in the top 10 players of summer league. That is great. And that's according to the NBA. I would say there's another guy that could have been in there, but I think they're going off a minimum of games. So if you played under 3 games, you probably weren't eligible, but I don't know. But for me, in this show, the All Rookie Podcast, I'm going to let you know my All Rookie First Team Summer League and my All Rookie First Team Second Team Summer League. So let's get these lists in here with just rookies and see how that goes. So for my first team, obviously Keegan Murray, who was the MVP and made the NBA's first team, makes my rookie first team with 23.7 boards, 2 assists, and 1 steal per game. And he played in every game. Dominant for the Kings, helped them win games, carried them on their back, looked great offensively, looked really good defensively. Looks like he's going to fit a role no matter where they put him with the Kings. And looking like, you can't say he fell too far in the draft because he went 4th, but a lot of people thought it was 4 guys and then it dropped off after Jaden Ivey. Keegan Murray put himself in a position where it's like, no, there's 5 guys, maybe 6 guys with Benedict Mathurin, but this draft is better than a lot of people thought it would be. Next, I have Paolo Banchero with 20 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, 2.5 steals, and 1 block per game. The thing is, he only played 2 games. But in those 2 games, he was dominant, so dominant that they didn't need to see any more in Orlando. They shut him down after those 2 games. But he looked like the best player slash with Chet Holmgren as far as rookies in the Summer League through those first 2 games. And I'm sure it was a lot of confirmation for the Magic that they picked the right player instead of Jabari Smith, which was the debate. In my opinion, this doesn't answer that, but I'm sure it made a lot of Magic fans sleep better at night because a lot of people thought they were getting Jabari Smith. Next, I have Benedict Mathurin, who averaged 19 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal per game, and that was in 3 games. As I said, he made the second team. With this rookie Summer League first team, he makes mine. So, he's a great player for the Pacers. In my opinion, he was borderline 4th or 5th player in this draft. I wanted to push him above Chet because of that concern whether Chet would hold up in the NBA. But I still left Chet 4th, and I put Benedict 5. And he did nothing to disprove that he's going to be a great player. I mentioned before, he reminds me of a young Dwayne Wade, and he has all the talent in the world. The Pacers have traded away a few players, so they're going to have an opening for him to get minutes and be productive. Next, Tari Eason, like we mentioned, he made the first team from the NBA. He makes my first team. He averaged 17 points, 10 boards, 1.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. And you love to see a player that can get stats in multiple categories, not just for fantasy, but that helps the team in real life as well. So you have a guy that can score, that can rebound, that can pass, that can defend extremely well, do all the hustle plays that you need. And there's no reason that Tari Eason should have fell to 16, 17 in this draft. I had him mock 12th to OKC. That would have been a great fit for OKC. But they went with Ousmane Dieng at 11. So we will see if they ended up making the right decision or not. But Tari Eason is looking incredible for the Rockets. And it's going to be hard not to start him from day one. And last but not least, Chet Holmgren. He only played 3 games, but he averaged 14 points, 8.5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 huge blocks. I mean, some games he had some 6 blocks games in there, so he was dominant, at least in the first 2. And then it kind of, settled down a little bit, but Chet Holmgren had a good summer league. It was great at first. He had the world shook at first till he ran into Kenneth Lofton. But Chet showed everything he needed to show. And I can't wait to see him in the regular season because he did perform well. Every test he's been put at, he's passed with flying colors. So we will see what happens from now until when the season starts. So my first team summer league with all rookies were Keegan Murray, Paolo Banchero, Benedict Mathurin, Tari Eason, and Chet Holmgren. My second team is Blake Wesley. He almost made the first team, but I had to put, Chet in there, even though he didn't play as many games, had to do it. Blake Wesley, 17 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1.5 steals per game, played all 5 games. He is a guard for the Spurs. You have to wonder if they felt so confident in Blake Wesley and Josh Primo that they could trade away DeJounte Murray. Possibly. We will see what happens. A lot of people are saying Blake Wesley is kind of like a bigger Tyrese Maxey. I see a bigger Emmanuel Quickley. But he played excellent in the summer league, especially the first 3-4 games. I mean, it was tremendous. He was right up there with those guys, Paolo and Chet, in those early games because he was dominating. So that was great to see. I also have to mention in my second team, all rookie summer league, Kenneth Lofton from the Grizzlies, 15 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, and that was in 5 games for the Grizzlies. Some games they kind of rested him, but other games they unleashed him, and he was dominant. I believe his last game he had like 28 and 10 or something like that. It was ridiculous. 27 and 12 with 2 blocks was his last game. So he dominated. It's basically seemed like whenever he wanted to, he could. And, his brand is bully ball. Kenneth Lofton did that very well for the Grizzlies. Another Grizzly, David Roddy, averaged 15 points and 5 boards, played all 5 games, looked good out there, looked a lot better than I thought he would. He's a guy I thought he should go undrafted because he came from a small school, body was out of shape. He bullied and dominated lesser competition, but he's undersized. He's a little overweight. I didn't see that translating, but he already looks in much better shape, in the summer league. Like from the first game, from the pictures they took just to show they were rookies in their uniforms, you could see that his body looked different. So he's clearly been working, and if not doing what Memphis has asked him, doing what he felt he needed to do to be a productive NBA player. So I could not be more proud of David Roddy, because I was really worried about that pick. But after years and years and years of doubting Memphis Grizzlies drafting abilities, I think we all can just sit back and say, I think they got this, And every year we think about that. We say, we didn't trust them, but it worked out. Hey, we didn't trust them, but it worked out. It looks like that's going to be the case again this year. They have Kenneth Lofton, David Roddy, Jake LaRavia showed some signs of goodness out there, some signs of badness too, but he has time to continue to develop. But Memphis, I will not doubt you anymore. Next on my second team, Ochai Agbaji, 15 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal. That was in 4 games. Just looked very polished out there. He's a senior, so he is a little more developed than most, but he fit in. But not only did he just play well, he showed signs of areas that he can improve in as well. He's not just going to be a 3-and-D guy. Like, he can do more. So we'll see how he fits with this Cleveland Cavaliers team during the season. But I think there's a strong possibility he should start. She should and could start. We will see what they do with Colin Sexton. That might hamper that. But Ochai should definitely get minutes on this Cavs team. He looked really well out there, kind of like Jalen Williams from OKC. And last but not least, Jabari Smith. He averaged 14.5 points, 9.5 boards, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game. And that was in 5 games. Jabari Smith got off to a slow start his first 2 games, but slow for a top 3 pick. I guess you would say slow. He still was almost averaging a double-double when everyone was killing him, saying he should have never even been in consideration for the top 3 pick. But he brought it back, and I think he's a player that's going to maybe not just hit the ground running. He's going to continue to get better with time, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But 14 and 9, that's great. That's what Chet pretty much averaged in college. So, but we want to see him continue to develop, get better at things, and keep working on his body, his shot, his defense. And Jabari Smith's going to be a great rookie. I still think he's the number 1 player in this draft. So I'm not going to change that from Summer League. But guys, I have to mention as honorable mention, because that was my second team. Let me reiterate: Blake Wesley, Kenneth Lofton, David Roddy, Ochai Agbaji, and Jabari Smith were my second team, all rookie, Summer League. Honorable mention, guys that were very close, but I couldn't get them in. There's only 10 you can get in there. So Malachi Branham, 15 points, 3 boards, 1 assist. I wish we would have did more, like either more assists, more rebounds. He might would have snuck in there, but he had a really good Summer League, did what he does, scores, shoots the ball, puts the ball in the basket. I've told people he reminds me of a young Ray Allen. I mean, he's got all the tools to be very successful. There's no reason he should have slipped to 20th in the draft. I'll give honorable mention to Jaden Hardy, averaged 15 points, 4.5 boards, 2.5 assists, 1 steal. He didn't make the top 10 because he did average 5 turnovers per game. That's not good. But his offensive skills, especially in that first game, were on full display. And I think he will eventually help the Mavs forget that they didn't pay Brunson. So we will see. But Hardy played really well out there. And I'll have to say Bryce McGowan's averaged 14.5 points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists in 5 games. He did have 2.5 turnovers per game, but he had a really good Summer League. In my opinion, he fell to 40th in the draft. He was a top 22, 25 player for sure. So that was crazy that he fell that far. I was a little worried that he went to the Hornets because that seems like a place where minutes will be very hard to come by. But depending on what happens with Miles Bridges, he could see the floor a little bit. We will see. But they signed him to a two-way deal as well, not a regular contract. So I don't know. But Bryce McGowan showed signs that I was right. And he should have been a top 25 player for sure. But I wish he wasn't on the Hornets, but he is. And I also almost slipped my mind, but I do have to give a shout out to Jalen Williams from OKC, their first round pick from Santa Clara. He looked amazing out there, and he will compete for a starting job for sure for OKC. Just looked like a professional out there amongst boys. Now, as far as my disappointments for the Summer League, there really was only one, and I have to say Johnny Davis. He only scored in double digits in one game. A lot of people that are his defenders will say he was being very passive. The team wasn't that good, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of things you can say about a lot of different players in that respect, but they're not given the leeway or, because people like them, they're not given that type of credit. Like, oh, there's other guys on bad teams too, but Johnny Davis did not show that he was worth the 10th pick in this draft in the Summer League. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but in this Summer League, he struggled, and you could say he was passive. You could say the defense wasn't as good as it was in college, but he's just going to have an adjustment period. Not everyone comes in scoring 20 points per game like Paolo. Some people have to work up to what they eventually become, figure out what they can and can't do, figure out systems, figure out how guys are guarding them. And if you're the main guy in college and then you come in to the NBA and you're the fourth guy, that's an adjustment. So there's a lot of different adjustments that people are having to go through. Johnny Davis is not a bust. He had a bad Summer League. He will improve. You also could say Ousmane Dieng did not have a great Summer League as far as being 11 pick in the draft. But with him, everyone knew he was a raw prospect. They're trying to hit a home run with Ousmane. They know it's a 50-50 chance. He's either going to be really, 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 really good, possibly great, or he's just going to bust or possibly just be a low, just low valuable, not very valuable role player. There you go. How about that? So Johnny Davis, Ousmane Dieng, you can say were the disappointments, other than the players that did not play as far as Summer League play. But in this last week of play, if you didn't get the concept of the Summer League through my first and second team, my disappointments, the guys that didn't play, I want to go over some of the biggest performances in the last week of Summer League from July 11th to July 17th. And I'll have to start with Tari Eason, had a 22-point, 10-board game with 2 steals and 2 blocks. Jabari Smith, 19 and 9 with 2 steals. Malachi Branham, 20.6 boards and 2 steals. Chet had a 16-point, 10-board, 2-block game. AJ Lawson, shout out to an undrafted player, 15 points, 12 boards, 2 blocks. Jabari Walker, 16 and 13. David Roddy had a 20-point game. Tyrese Martin, late draft pick for the Hawks, 21 points, 6 boards, great game. Buddy Boeheim, undrafted for the Pistons, 18 points. Benedict Mathurin with a 20.5 board, 3 steal performance. Ochai Agbaji, 24 points, 3 steals, incredible. Bryce McGowan's 24 points, love it. Keegan Murray, 29 points, 7 boards, 4 steals, and that is your best game by any rookie, and that's part of the reason why he was a MVP, the MVP. J.D. Davison, if you don't know that name, get familiar. Had a 28-point, 10-board, 3 steal performance, and he's a guy that should have came back to school for one more year, but he made it. He stayed in the draft. He did get drafted 53rd to the Celtics. It was almost a great situation until they traded for Malcolm Brogdon. So it's possible J.D. Davison will not play this year, kind of like a James Bouknight type of situation where he'll be in the G League 98% of the time. But he showed flashes out there of what he did in college, and he showed more than he did in college, honestly. if he was on a different team, he'd be ready to go right now. He looked like a first round pick a lot of the time out there. So JD Davison, I love his game. I love his future. Look out for him. It's just probably not gonna happen this year. Tyson Etienne, another undrafted rookie, had a 21.2 steal game. Blake Wesley, 20 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. Dalen Terry, 20 points, 5 boards, 2 steals. Tari Eason, 17 points, 7 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Just ridiculous. Jabari Smith, 19 and 10. Josh Minot, 14 points, 12 boards, and 2 steals. Josh Minot is a rookie that is with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was a guy that couldn't score to save his life in college. Very raw, long length, defensive, athletic wing. But he's had some really good games in the summer league. A lot of people are thinking Minnesota has a steal with him. Who knows? He could start at the 3. We will see. But they also have Wendell Moore, who had a huge game, 16 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. So the future is bright for the Timberwolves. We'll see what direction they go, who's going to start, who won't. Now, we also had a Keegan Murray 21.10 board game. Orlando Robinson for the Heat, undrafted, 13 points, 11 boards. Cole Swider had a 21.6 board game, undrafted player with the Lakers, great shooter. Tyrese Martin, again, for the Hawks, 21 points, 4 assists, ridiculous. Isaiah Mobley, 15 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. That is Evan Mobley's brother with the Cavs. It was a late second-round pick. David Roddy with 19 points. Kenneth Lofton with his 27-12 and 2 block performance, ridiculous. Malachi Branham with 23. JD Davison, again, there's that name, point guard for the Celtics, 17 points, 10 assists. You have to love it. Tari Eason, 19 points, 10 boards, and 2 steals, another one. And last but not least, Darion Seabraun had a 19.8 rebound game. So this summer league was filled with rookie goodness all over the place. Tell me who is your favorite rookie, but I gave you my rookies to look out for. And I'll be giving you more information, whether it's contracts, any breaking news for these rookies, anything you want to hear going into the season. The summer league is over. I loved it. It was wild all over the place, but that's the consensus and the general idea of what you need to know. Anything else, let me know. Hit me up at William is Bill on Twitter. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace. Subscribe.